Hello everyone, this is Jasmeet Singh from Delhi Developer, and today we are going to learn how to create your own bulk email server using Virtualmin and PHPList on a virtual private server running Ubuntu 14.04. So the important thing to notice here is that this virtual private server VPS is going to be the only thing that will cost you. It will cost you somewhere near $10 a month. Apart from that, Ubuntu 14.04 is an open source and free operating system. Virtualmin is an open source and free control panel which will be used to control your entire server. PHPList is an open source and free application, a web application that will be used to send bulk emails. So this is our purpose. Our purpose is to install PHPList and make it work so that we can send as many bulk emails as we want. Now, if you've used MailChimp, Aweber, GetResponse, or Constant Contact, then you will know that these are online web services that are used to send bulk emails. Now, the problem with these email services is that they offer you only a limited number of subscribers and a limited number of free emails per month. So, for every extra subscriber, they charge you. And some of these services also charge you for extra emails per month. So to get rid of these restrictions, we are going to create our own VPS. We need a virtual private server with 2 GB RAM, and you can buy this virtual private server from DigitalOcean or Linode or any other hosting company of your choice. Now, even if you are not a semi-technical person, you might be able to complete this setup if you follow everything step by step. In case if you think you are stuck somewhere and you are unable to complete the installation of this server, in that case you can call us or email us and we'll set up this server for you for a small amount of $100. Now, why create your own bulk email server? The first reason is that it costs you very less. It costs you only $10 a month, which is very less compared to what these companies charge you for extra subscribers. Then you can add as many subscribers to your server as you want. You can send as many emails and as many campaigns, as many newsletters from your server. And another reason to create your own bulk email server is that it is very easy to use, because PHPList is a very simple software. It is mostly self-explanatory. So what all do you need? Firstly, you need a virtual private server with 2 GB RAM and Ubuntu 14.04 LTS pre-installed. Ubuntu 14.04 is an operating system and LTS means long-term support. So why do we need 2 GB RAM of a VPS? Because in our server we are going to run some softwares like MySQL, which will need at least 2 GB of RAM. You can go for 1 GB, but you will find yourself in some problems. So go safe, go for 2 GB RAM. Okay, now important thing to notice here is that this VPS is not of the kind that certain hosting companies sell along with the control panel called cPanel. We don't need cPanel here. You only need a VPS with only an operating system installed called Ubuntu 14.04. We don't need anything else on a VPS. So you can buy such a VPS from DigitalOcean, which is a very good company. Linode, this is also a very nice company. So you can buy it from any other company, but remember that this virtual private server should only have an operating system installed and nothing else. You need a clean installation of this operating system on this VPS to be able to proceed. So DigitalOcean sells this 2 GB RAM virtual private server for $20 a month. Linode sells the same, nearly the same 2048 MB, or you can say 2 GB RAM server for $10 a month, and it gives you 30 GB of storage with it, a CPU 1 CPU core, 2 terabyte of monthly data transfer. So this is what we are going to go for. We are going to create this virtual private server. You can also go for DigitalOcean, but I prefer Linode because it is cheaper. So why go for Ubuntu 14.04? While the latest version of Ubuntu is Ubuntu 16.04. At least at the time of creating this video, this is the latest version. It is also an LTS version. LTS means long-term support. Now why am I not going for this version? Because I found some problems in it. I tried to create this entire setup in Ubuntu 16.04 and I found some problems in between, though I was able to fix those problems. But we don't want to go through all that hassle. We want our installation to be a breeze, to be very simple, straightforward, no glitches in between. I even tried it on CentOS 7 and CentOS 6 and I found myself into some problems. So those problems can be fixed, but we don't want to go through all that. We want a clean installation without any trouble. So go for Ubuntu 14.04. Apart from this VPS with Ubuntu, you need a domain name. Now I have bought my domain name from a company called .tk. It gives you domain names for free. I have bought a domain name called, my domain name is delhidevelopermail.tk. So if your website is hosted on abc.com and your official emails are something like something@abc.com, then your email server should have a domain like abcmail.com. The point is that it should be a little different while somewhat similar also. The reason of keeping these two domains different is that when in case your bulk marketing emails are going into spam, that does not affect your official emails that might be going through this domain. So buy an email address like this. I have bought .tk domain because it is free. I will prefer that you buy .com or whatever matches your official email address. Apart from that, we'll need a software called PHPList. This software is used to send the bulk emails. It is a web application. You'll need Virtualmin, which is a control panel to control your entire server. Apart from that, you will also need something called PuTTY. Now, this is a software that you can download here by clicking here. In case if you are using Windows, download either of these according to whether you have 32-bit Windows or 62-bit Windows. So you can install through these MSI installers. Now what will this software PuTTY be used for? It will be used to connect to our virtual private server and to run commands on it. I've already installed PuTTY. I have it here. Let's turn it on. We'll use it later. I'll keep it aside. Let's get started. Let's create a VPS. I'll not be using DigitalOcean. I'll be using Linode. Let me click here, add a Linode. A Linode here is nothing but a virtual private server. I'll select this one with 2 GB RAM. 204 it means 2 GB RAM. 1024 means 1 GB RAM. This is 4 GB RAM. I'm gonna go for this one. Now in location, I'm going to select Singapore. Since it is nearest to my location, you can select which one is nearest to you. Add this Linode. So my Linode has been created. This is my Linode. It has been just created. I'm going to click on it. Now I don't see anything here. It's just a brand new Linode with no operating system installed. So I'm going to click here on rebuild to install an operating system. Now I'm going to install Ubuntu 14.04. You don't see it here, you will see it in older distributions. Ubuntu 14.04 LTS. I'm going to select maximum size for the swap disk. The deployment disk size will automatically be selected. I'm going to set some root password. I'm going to rebuild my Linode. If I scroll down here, I can see that it's going through certain steps. It's going through its initial configuration, then system shutdown, then the disk is being created, then the swap disk is being created. Let's wait for it to complete, and then we'll click here on this button to start our Linode, because currently it's turned off. So all these jobs are complete. Now we are going to click on this boot button to turn our Linode on, since it is powered off currently. Let's scroll down and see it's booting. It's turning on. Our virtual private server is turning on. So it's up and running. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to go here in remote access. We're going to copy the IP address. Now what we are going to do is we're going to go to our domain registrar's website. My domain registrar is Freenom. You can be godaddy.com or any other domain registrar of your choice. Now I'm going to go to manage domains. Now I'm going to set two things here. The first thing is name servers, and the second thing is glue records. First I'm going to set up name servers. How do we do that? I'm going to go to name servers. Okay, so I can see these default name servers. I'm going to replace them by my own name servers. Now if my domain name is delhidevelopermail.tk, then I'm going to click here, custom name servers. I'm going to set up my own same name servers. I don't need these ones. Now I'm going to type here ns1.mydomainname. I'm going to type here ns2.mydomainname. So these are my new name servers: ns1.delhidevelopermail.tk, ns2.delhidevelopermail.tk. Now these are called vanity name servers, which means servers by the name of my own domain, my own name servers. Then I'm going to click on change name servers. So I'm going to go and check whether they have been changed. Okay, I have my new name server set up. Now this is the first thing I've done, is that I've changed my name servers. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create my glue records. If you have bought your domain from godaddy.com, then your glue records are called host names on GoDaddy. So you will be setting up host names in godaddy.com. Here in Freenom, they are called glue records. They might be called something else on your domain registrar. It depends upon which domain registrar you have. So in case you want to see what glue records are called on your domain registrar, you just have to type how to set up glue records on your domain registrar. Let's say it's HostGator. Then you're going to find the steps how to set up glue records on HostGator. So in case of my domain registrar, glue records are called only glue records. So it's quite simple for me. I'm going to click here on register glue records. Now I'm going to type ns1.delhidevelopermail.tk has already been written, so I don't need to type it. I only need to type ns1. I'm going to paste here the IP address of my virtual server. I'll copy it from here. I'll paste it here. I'll click on save. Now it has saved my glue record. I'm going to again type ns2.delhideveloper.tk. I'm going to paste my IP address. I'm going to click on save changes. So my glue records have been saved. Now in case if I want to check whether the glue records have been updated, whether the name server has been updated globally, I can use a website called whatsmydns.net. Now this is a very nice website. The thing is that the change in name servers and the change in glue records need to be known to DNS servers throughout the world. This is called DNS propagation, and DNS propagation takes some time. So let's check whether DNS propagation has been done already. I doubt it would have been done. I'll type my domain name here. I'll type ns to check my name servers. I'll click on search. Okay, so we do not have any name servers updated throughout the world. So next thing I'm going to check is ns1.delhidevelopermail.tk, and I'm going to select A to check whether my glue records have been updated. Of course, I think none of these two things have been updated, but we are going to check them again later on. So we are going to check this again. Let's keep it aside here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to connect to this virtual server using PuTTY. So we will copy this IP address. We will open PuTTY. We will paste the IP address here. We will let the port be 22. We will leave the connection type as SSH, and we will name this server. I can give it any name. I'll give it Delhi Developer Mail TK server. So you can type any name you want here. Then we will go to data under connection, and here we will type root, because root is the primary user of Ubuntu, and I want that when a connection to the server is made, then PuTTY should automatically log in me with the username root. Then click on save. So this connection has been saved here. Now we will double click on it to start the connection. Now it will show you this warning because we are trying to connect to the server for the first time. So just click on yes, and the warning will never appear again. So you can see that PuTTY is trying to log me in using the username root. So I'll just type in the password. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to change the host name. Now you can see that I've been logged in with the username root, and this Ubuntu is actually not just the operating system, it is also my host name. So if I type host name, I can see that Ubuntu is my host name, and if I type host name space -f, then I can see that this is my full host name, and I want to change both of them. Now so I'll just open a notepad here. Now I want my host name to be host, host, and I want my full host name to be host dot this complete domain name. So this is going to be my full host name, and this is going to be my host name. So how are we going to change the host name? We are going to change our host name in 3 steps. The first step will be to edit a text file. The second step will be to edit another text file. In the third step we will run a command. So let's go to the first step. We will type cat space /etc/hostname. This is the full path of the text file host name that we want to edit. The cat command will show us the contents of this text file, so we will just press enter. I can see the contents of this text file contain only one word, which is Ubuntu, and I am going to change it to host. So now I will type nano space /etc/hostname. Now nano is a text editor in Ubuntu. Using this we can change the contents of a text file. So I'll just press enter to start nano. So we are inside nano text editor. Here we can change the contents of this text file. I'll just replace Ubuntu by the word host, and then I will type Ctrl X to exit. It will ask me whether I want to save the changes. I'll press yes, and it will ask me whether I want to save the changes to the same file name, and I'll press enter. And I'll just run the cat command again to see if the changes have been made. Yes, we have changed the contents of this text file. So now we will edit another text file. The other text file is /etc/hosts. Now we will see the contents of this text file. So when I ran this command, I got these as the contents of this text file, and this is the line that we are going to change. I'm going to type hosts in place of Ubuntu, and I'm going to type host.delidevelopermail.tk in place of ubuntu.members.linode.com. Remember that you only have to change this line, which contains the IP address 127.0.1.1, not this line which contains the IP address 127.0.0.1. So let's change the contents of this text file. I'll type nano/etc/hosts. Now we are going to change this second line. I'll replace Ubuntu by host, and I will replace this whole line by this full host name. Remember that once you copy something from somewhere in putty, if you want to paste it, all you have to do is just right click. So it is done. Now I will again press Ctrl X to exit and press Y to save changes, and then press enter to save the changes in the same file. Now I will just check whether the contents have been updated. So when I run this command, I can see these are the contents of the text file, and this statement, this line has been changed. So we have done the first two steps of changing the host name. We have edited this text file, host name text file, then we have edited this host text file. Now we will run a command. The command is host name host, and press enter. Now your host name should have been changed. Now we will type host name to view our host name, which is host, just as we were expecting, and we will type host name space -f to see our full host name, which is just as we wanted. So our host name has been changed. I'll just close this notepad. Now I can see that my command line still shows my old host name, which is Ubuntu. So what we will do is we will just close putty, okay, and then start putty again. You will start the same connection. Just double click on this. I'll just type the password, and you can see the new hostname has been updated. Now we are going to update our system by using the command apt-get space update. Now apt-get is actually a package manager in Ubuntu. It is used to install new packages and update the current packages. So this command will update the current packages. So I'll just press enter, and this should not take more than a minute. So it is done. So all our packages have been checked for updates. The next step is to download the Virtualmin installation script. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create a new folder named downloads inside our root folder. We will switch to our root folder by typing the command cd space / and then we will type ls to see the contents of our root folder. So here they are. We can see some directories and some files. Now what we will do is we will create a new directory downloads inside this root folder, we will use the command mkdir space downloads. Enter. Now if we use the command ls, we can see that the new downloads folder has been created. Now we will switch to that folder by running the command cd space downloads, and then inside this downloads folder we will create a new folder named Virtualmin, and then we will switch to this folder Virtualmin. By using the command cd space Virtualmin, and inside this folder Virtualmin we will now download the script, the Virtualmin installation script. Now Virtualmin is actually a control panel that will be using to control your server. Now you can download this script from here also, but if you type Virtualmin download, then we can see, just click on the first link and you will find this statement here. So this is the official installation script link of Virtualmin, but this is not what we will be using, because this is the latest version of the script, and there is a problem with the latest version of the script that it installs PHP 7 on your Ubuntu 14.04, and we don't want PHP 7 because PHPList is not that compatible with PHP 7, and both PHPList and the postfix SMTP server show some problems when we install PHP 7. So we are going to use PHP 5.5. So we are not going to download the Virtualmin installation script from here. Let's close this. Instead, you will find a link in our blog. This is the Virtualmin installation script. This is the URL of the script. I'll just copy it and I'll use wget command to download the script. Wget is actually a utility that can be used to download files on your server. So I'll just use wget and then I will paste the script. So this is the URL of the script that you will find on our blog. So this is the URL of the script that you will find So this is the URL of the script that you will find in our blog and in the description of this YouTube video. So we will press enter to download the script using the wget utility. Now if I type ls, then I can see that the script has been downloaded, but it is inside a zip file. So I'll type unzip space install.zip. So unzip has not been installed. So what we are going to do is we are going to install the unzip package first. We will again use apt-get to install unzip. I'll use apt-get install unzip. It will ask me whether I want to. Okay, so it has just downloaded and installed unzip. Now I should be able to run that command, unzip space install.zip. So it has just unzipped this file and it has extracted this file from the zip file, and this file is install.sh. So this is the script that will install Virtualmin on this system. So to run this script, we will type sh space install.sh and we will press enter. Now it will ask me whether I want to continue or not, and it will show me a warning that if we don't have one of these operating systems, then the installation script will fail. But I am sure that our installation script will not fail because we have Ubuntu 14.04. So let's just type Y and press enter. Now this installation of the script should not take more than 15 minutes. So I'll just pause the video till then and then I'll resume it again. So we are back and the installation script has finished installing Virtualmin and various other software packages, and it did not even take 10 minutes. So now the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to visit our server in the browser using Virtualmin. So what we will do is we will copy this IP address again and we will open a new tab. We will type https:// then that IP address :10,000 and we will press enter. Now Chrome will show us a warning that the site is not secure because an SSL certificate has not been installed on this website yet. So we will click on advanced and then we will click on proceed. Even though it is unsafe, we will just want to proceed for now. And here we will type the username and password of our server. It is the same username and password that we used in PuTTY. The username is root and the password is the one that we had set here while rebuilding the system. So I'll just type in the password, and this 10,000 IP, this 10,000 port is to actually access Virtualmin on our server. So we are actually going to log into Virtualmin. So there you go, we have logged into Virtualmin, and now we are going to go through the post installation visit. So just click on next. Now select yes for both these questions. We want to preload Virtualmin libraries so that Virtualmin runs fast, and we also want this. We want to run the email domain lookup server so that email services like Hotmail can actually verify that any mail has been sent from our actual server or not. So all our emails can be verified by Hotmail. Just click on next. So now in this step we will select yes for this question because we want to run the Clam AV server scanner. Clam AV is an antivirus software which will scan all our incoming emails for viruses. So just select yes and click on next. Now we also want to run the spam assassin server filter so that all our incoming emails are scanned for spam. Click on next. Then we are going to run MySQL server. Leave yes here, and we are not going to run the PostgreSQL server, so select no and click on next. Now we are going to set the MySQL password. Now you will be able to see my MySQL password, but that does not matter because by the time you will be watching this video, the server would have been deleted. Now I would definitely use stronger password for production servers, so I'll suggest you to do the same. Now leave this setting as default since we have a 2 GB server. So we'll select this option and click on next. Now in this step we will type our primary name server and secondary name server, the same name servers that we used here. And my name servers were ns1.delhidevelopermail.tk and ns2.mydomainname. So I'll replace this host by ns1. This will be my primary name server. My secondary name server will be ns2. And remember that you have to click here, you have to check this checkbox, skip check resolvability. This is because we do not have the DNS records for these two named servers in our server. These DNS records will be created after we create something called a virtual server inside Virtualmin. Click on next. Now it is asking whether I want to store stronger passwords or plain text passwords. I want to store hashed passwords, which is more secure. So click on next. And you are done. The Virtualmin post installation configuration is now complete. Just click on next. And the first thing we will do is we will switch the theme, because we want to use the new Virtualmin theme, which is much better than the one that we are looking at right now. So just click on switch themes and you will see a new updated theme of Virtualmin. So just refresh the browser. Since the theme has not properly loaded, we'll just refresh the browser to let the theme load properly. So I just refreshed the screen again, the browser again, and I can see the new theme. See? Now the next thing is to scroll down here and click here, recheck and refresh configuration. This will just analyze our server and ensure that it is ready to run Virtualmin. So it is done. You can see that our server is ready to be used by Virtualmin. Now we will just update the packages on our server. Just click on this bell, and then in notifications you can see that 92 packages are available to be updated. We will just click on it. And here we can see the 92 packages which are to be updated. Just scroll down till here and click on update selected packages. Okay, now this is just the list of the packages. The packages have not been installed yet, so just scroll up and here you see the install button. This was just building complete list of updates. So just click on install now to install the packages. So this might take a while. I'll pause the video again and then we will resume the video when all the packages have been installed. Always remember that while you can see this loading icon, you should not do anything, you should not click anywhere until the loading is finished. So I'll just pause the video for now. So we are back, and as you can see, all the packages have been successfully installed. So let's just return to the package list, and we can see that no more packages are available to be updated. So as you can see that Virtualmin has two parts, Webmin and Virtualmin. Now Webmin is used to control the settings of your server, and Virtualmin is used to control individual website. Now for each website we will create a virtual server. So inside our VPS we are going to create further virtual servers, and each virtual server will be for an individual website. So let's first go to Webmin and then click on servers and then click on bind DNS server. So here we can see DNS zones. Now we do not see any DNS zone for our domain name. This is my domain name, delhidevelopermail.tk. So there should be a DNS zone here for delhidevelopermail.tk. Now that DNS zone will automatically be created after we create a virtual server for delhidevelopermail.tk. So the next step is to create a new virtual server. So we are going to copy this domain name and we are going to paste the domain name here. This is our primary domain name for this virtual server. We'll just use a password. And then I'll click on enable features and we will select all the features. We want an SSL certificate on our virtual server for my domain name, and I also want an FTP connection to my server. So click on create server. So you can see it is adding a new DNS zone, which we will just check in a minute. So I'll just remind you again, don't do anything until this loading icon is still visible. So the server has been created, the loading icon has gone, so it means that the job is done. So now we are going to go to Webmin again. We are going to click on servers, then bind DNS server. Now we can see a DNS zone for our new domain name, for which we just created a virtual machine, which is delhidevelopermail.tk. Just click on it. Then we can see all the types of records. These are the ones that we are interested in. We are just going to click here on all. We can see the DNS record for our domain. Here it is, the A record. We can also see the NS1 records for name servers and NS2 record, and we can also see the host.delhidevelopermail.tk for our host name. So we can also see the A records of name servers and the NS records, which says that this website, the name server for this website are these. Now what we will do is we will go back to the website whatsmydns.net and we will check if the name servers have been propagated. So this sometimes happens, error token mismatch. Just reload this page and check the name servers again, so we can see that the name servers have been propagated perfectly. We will also check the glue records, which is the IP address for ns1.delhidevelopermail.tk. We will type ns.delhidevelopermail.tk here. We will select A here and we will click on search. So we can see the same IP address of this server for ns1. We will also check it for ns2. It should definitely show us the same. So it's working. So our DNS records for the server have propagated throughout the world. Now we will go back to Virtualmin, and since the DNS records have been created, now we are going to open this. We are going to copy this URL, click on a new tab, paste it here, and we are going to replace the IP address by our host name, Just copy the domain name from here. We will type host dot our domain name, and this whole thing is nothing but our host name for our server, which we had set up here. You can see. So in putty you can anytime type clear command to clear the screen. So we'll just visit this URL and this should work now. You can see that the SSL certificate has still not been installed. We will very soon install this SSL certificate and get rid of this cross on HTTPS, and we will get a green lock here, which will mean that our website is secure. Click on advanced, then click on proceed. You will see the screen. Just log into your Virtualmin using the same root username and the password for the server root user. So there you see we have logged in to the Virtualmin control panel using our host name instead of the IP address. So we will not need to log in using our IP address again, so we can close this for now. So now, apart from logging into Virtualmin using the root account, we will also log into Virtualmin using the account of an individual virtual server. So just open a new tab, type https:// your complete domain name without the word host, and then :10,000. It's basically the same URL without the word host. Press enter. Click on advanced, click on proceed. Now here we will not type the username and password of the root account. In fact, the username and the password for the virtual server which we have created for delhi-developer-mail.tk. Now just click on edit users. You can see a new user has been automatically created. Whenever a new virtual server is created for a domain, a new user is automatically created, and username is nothing but the first part of our domain name without .tk. In your case it can be .com, so just remove the .com. The remaining part is your username. So we will just, for username, we will just copy this and paste it here, Delhi Developer Mail without the .tk. For the password, we will use the same password that we had used here while creating a new virtual machine. While creating this virtual machine, I had entered a password here. I'll type the same password. So we have logged in as Delhi Developer Mail. Okay, now this is, in here we have logged in using the root account, and here we have logged in using the Delhi Developer Mail account. Here the domain name is host.delhi-developer-mail.tk, which is our host name, and here the domain name is our original domain name. So this is, if you have used cPanel, so you will be able to understand that this root login is analogous to WHM, which is used to control the entire server and all its accounts, all the virtual server accounts. And this is analogous to cPanel, which is used to manage an individual account. So both of these have webmin and virtualmin. You will see more options here in the root account. You will see fewer options here in the webmin of a virtual server account. You will see more options here also in virtualmin, and fewer options here in the virtualmin of an individual account. So the next thing that we are going to do is, we are going to use the root account, and we are going to click on virtualmin, and then we will go to server configuration and we will click on manage SSL certificate. Then we will directly go to the last tab, which is Let's Encrypt. And Let's Encrypt is actually a website, or an organization to be more correct, which offers free SSL and TLS certificates. So Let's Encrypt will give us a free SSL certificate which will be installed automatically, and Let's Encrypt is an open certifying authority. So here, instead of using the default option which will install the SSL certificate for this and this domain names, we also need an SSL certificate for this domain name, host.delhidevelopermail.tk. So what we will do is we'll copy this, click here, domain names listed here should now have the new SSL certificate, and we will add a third domain name here, which is host.delhidevelopermail.tk. so we will get an SSL certificate for all these three domains: the host name, the domain name of our virtual server, and the domain name of our virtual server prefixed with www. Leave this option to 2 because the only problem with Let's Encrypt SSL certificates is that you have to renew them every 3 months. So this option, months between automatical renewal, this option will actually renew the SSL certificates every 2 months, so they will be renewed even before they expire. So just click on request certificate. So you can see it is requesting certificate from Let's Encrypt. Okay, now I think that this can take a while, so I'll just pause the video and play it again when this is done. We are back and the SSL certificate has been installed. Now what we will do is we will click here on manage SSL certificate again, and you can see that the SSL certificate has been installed and the certifying authority is Let's Encrypt. So we are going to copy this SSL certificate to all the other servers. We are going to copy it to Webmin so that we can see it here when we log into our Virtualmin. We will copy it to Usermin, which is nothing but an email client that comes with Virtualmin. We will copy it to Dovecot, which is an IMAP and POP3 server. We will copy it to Postfix. This is the most important thing because this is our SMTP server. Postfix will be used to send me email, and we are also going to copy the same SSL certificate to our FTP connections. So let's do it one by one. Just remember that this and this is very important. If you find an error in any of the remaining services, it's okay. So let's start from this one. So it is done. SSL certificate has been copied to Webmin, and Webmin has also been configured to use it. Click on manage SSL certificate again, and then okay, now Webmin is done. Let's click on Usermin. Then click on manage SSL certificate again. Let's click on Dovecot. It is done. Then click on here again. Okay, now by default when we click on an option and the certificate is copied, the option should disappear. You can see that the Dovecot option disappeared, but the Webmin and Usermin did not disappear. So this happens sometimes, but we are sure that the certificate has been copied. So it is okay if these don't go anywhere. These buttons still appear. Let's just go to the next step. Let's copy the SSL certificate to Postfix. It is done. Now click on manage SSL certificate again. Then the last thing, copy the SSL certificate to the FTP server. So it is done. Let's click on manage SSL certificate again. Now you can see that the certificates have been copied to every service, including these two, even though these buttons did not disappear. So the SSL certificate should appear here and here. Now to see them, we will need to close our browser and open it again. I'll just close Chrome. I'll open Chrome again. I'll just press Ctrl Shift T to open all my previous tabs. See, let's close this one. Let's maximize, and you can see that we have an SSL certificate here and here. Both are secure. delideveloper.tk is secure and host.delidevelopermail.tk is also secure. Let's just log in here with the root login, and let's just log in here with the individual login of our virtual machine. You can click here on remember me if you want to. We can close this tab. We will not need this again. We can also close this tab since the DNS propagation is complete. We will not need this again too. We can also close this tab. We will not need to access our domain registrar again. So these are the two things, the root login and the virtual server login. Now we are going to create a new MySQL database for our new virtual server. Now we cannot create it here by default. So we will create it using the root login. Click on virtual machine. Click on edit databases. Then click on create a new database. We will name this new database PHPList database because this database will be used by PHPList. So the database server will be MySQL only. In the additional options, select UTF-8 for the character set, and for the collation you need to select UTF-8 General CI. Here it is, and click on create. Now we will create a new user. Users can also be created here. So we will just click on, let's just do something using the virtual server login. Let's click on users. You can also do it here if you want to, but let's do something here for now. We will click on edit users, then click on add a user to the server. We will call this user info. The email address of this user will be info@delidevelopermail.tk. We will very soon see that the username of this user will be info.delidevelopermail. So let's just type the user email address, set the password, and then just go down here to other user permissions. Here we are going to let this user access this database that we had just created, PHPList database. Just click on this button to grant access to this database. These are the allowed access databases. Just click on create to create this user. Now we can see that this user has been created and it has been given the username info.delidevelopermail. We will just open a notepad and copy this username. So this was my username. My password was Delhi123. Now there is a catch here. Though I have noted down this username, but this username applies to IMAP, POP3, FTP, and also postfix server, but it might not apply to MySQL server, because sometimes, since there is a limit to the length of the username in MySQL server, these usernames are short down to lesser characters. So let's just check it. Well, let's just verify. Just go to the root login, then click on Webmin, then go to servers, MySQL database server, then click on user permissions. Here you can see that the username for MySQL is different. It is info.delhi.develop and not the complete username. So this is a catch. Always remember that. Always remember to verify the username for MySQL server. It might be different from the original username. So I'll note this down. Username for MySQL will be info.delhi.develop and not info.delhi.developer mail. So this is a short username because of limits of MySQL for username lengths. So we will use this username to log into the postfix server and this username to log into the MySQL server. The password will be same for both. So we are now going to install, or you can say download, PHPList on our server, and we are going to configure it. Just click here in the virtual machine login, click on Webmin, click on others, then go to file manager. Inside the file manager you'll see this public HTML folder. Click on it, create a new folder here, a new directory, call it PHPList. Create this directory, go inside this directory by clicking on it, and here we will download PHPList. Open a new tab. Now I have the link of PHPList here. You will find it in our blog article, and you will also find it in the description of this video. So we will visit this URL. Here we will download the zip file. So we will not download it actually here. We will just copy this direct link, copy link address, and when the download dialog box appears, we will just close that dialog box, just cancel it. We don't want to download, we just wanted to copy this link address. So go back to your virtual machine, click on file, click on download from remote URL, paste the URL that you have just copied, leave the username and password field empty, click on download. So it has been downloaded. So, okay, now we want to unzip this, but we will not get an unzip option. That is because this file does not end with the extension .zip. It ends with .zip (r is equal to blah blah blah). So just rename it to phplist.zip. We'll rename it. Just remove all the extra stuff. Just call it phplist.zip. So now, since the file name ends with .zip, it can be extracted. We'll just right click and click on extract. So you can see it has been extracted here. So just click on this folder, go to the public HTML folder. Okay, now the first thing is that don't confuse this public HTML folder with this public HTML folder which already existed on your virtual machine. Go inside this public HTML folder, inside this lists folder. Now from this list folder, we are going to copy all these contents to our original PHPList folder. Just again, I'm telling you, don't confuse between this public HTML folder and this public HTML folder. We are going to copy the contents of list folder to the PHPList folder. So we are inside the list folder. Click here to select all. Click on edit. Let's just cut to move all these files, and let's go to our PHPList folder. Here we will paste all those files and folders, and then we will delete these two. Just go to edit and click on paste. Now we will delete this extracted folder and the original zip file. Right click and delete. So now we have PHPList installed inside a PHPList folder. Click on config folder. Now this is the config file of PHPList, and this is an extended version of the configuration file. So we want to use the extended version. So just delete this original config file which does not have all the settings, and rename this extended.php file rename it to only config.php. Now we are going to edit this config file to configure PHPList. Right click on it and click on edit. Now the first settings that we are going to set are the database settings. Now leave the database host to localhost. Now the database name will be the database name that we have given here while creating the database. Click on edit database inside Virtualmin, and you can see the database name was PHPList database. I'll just copy it and paste it here, PHPList database. The database user is actually the MySQL user. Remember, the MySQL user was different from the Postfix user. This is the username for Postfix, and this is the username for MySQL. Copy this MySQL user, paste it here. This is my password. Password for both will be same. Type it here. So this is my username, this is my MySQL password, this is my database name. Now if you scroll down, you will find a line that says page root is equal to something. Now instead of lists, we will type here PHPList. So in this setting, page root should be equal to /PHPList. Now if we scroll down a little more, we will find a line that decides whether our PHPList is in test mode or not. This is very important. Replace this 1 by 0. This should be 0, because if it is set to 1, then we will be in test mode and none of the emails will be sent. Now if you scroll down a lot more, you will somewhere find this statement. This is a PHP, this is a SMTP server. So just type localhost here. This SMTP server is the server itself on which PHPList is running. So we will type a localhost here. Then we will scroll down a little and we will see this setting, the SMTP user. an SMTP password. We will also see one more setting, SMTP server port number. So your SMTP user, apart from this, there will also be another setting. Yeah, exactly this one, the SMTP port number. So we are going to set 1, 2, 3, 4 settings. Cut. Apart from this, we are also going to set this value, the SMTP protocol. So we are going to set 4 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your SMTP username, SMTP password, SMTP port number, and SMTP protocol. The SMTP username will be this postfix username, because postfixes are SMTP server. I'll just paste the username here. The password will be the same password which will be used for the MySQL server. Paste the password here. The port number will be 587, which is port number for this TLS protocol, and here we will type TLS, which is a secure protocol. If we were using SSL protocol, the port number would be 465. We are using port number 587 because we are using protocol TLS. So we are done with all the settings. Now you can save these settings. Close this file. Now we can close this now, since we have downloaded PHPList and we have also configured it. So this public HTML folder represents the folder of our original domain name. Now we will type the domain name here. So when we press enter with HTTPS, we will see forbidden because there is no file, no index file here inside the public HTML folder. So public HTML represents this URL, and public HTML / PHPList represents this folder. So just type /PHPList here, and you will see some database errors, because though the database connectivity is done, PHPList is able to connect to the database since we have set the database connectivity settings in the config file, but no tables have been created in that database yet. So what we will do is we will visit this folder, the admin folder, /admin, and press enter. Now you can also notice that the SSL certificate is perfectly working for this without :1000. So now we will click on initialize database to create all the tables, and before the tables are created we need to enter some values. We will type our name, our organization name, the email address from which all the emails will be going. Now remember, I created a username info because I want all my emails to go from this email address. This is the email address, info@delhidevelopermail.tk. So the user that you had created, info, just paste here the email address of this user. You can name this user something else if you want your email address to go from something else at your domain.com. So my email address is info@mydomain, which is delhidevelopermail.tk, and this is the password for PHPList login. Remember, the login name will be admin initially. You can change this afterwards, and I'll just type in the password. Now of course in production I'll use a stronger password. I'm using a weak password only for this tutorial. Click on continue. Now you can see all the tables have been created in the database. It is asking us to tell them about how this experience of installing PHPList was. We will not tell them anything yet. It is asking us to subscribe to PHPList newsletter for latest news and updates. We can not subscribe also, but I'll just subscribe. So whether you click on subscribe button or you click on do not subscribe button, the next step will be same. You will get a new button which says continue with PHPList setup. Now we will not do anything here. We do not even see all the options here. So to see all the options, just log out and log in again. So you will always log in into PHPList by using this URL phplist/admin. The username is admin. The username is admin initially, but you can change it later. The password is the same password that I had set up in the previous step. Click on continue. Now you can see all the options. See, so what we are going to do is we are going to click here on start a new campaign. Now we are going to just test whether an email can be sent from this PHPList or not. I'll give this campaign a subject test campaign subject. The email will go from info@delhidevelopermail.tk. I'll set the body to test campaign body. Then I'll scroll down to the bottom and I'll see this send test. Now this step is very important. Now watch carefully. I'll just open a new tab. I'll visit a website called dkimvalidator.com. This website actually receives an email from me and then tells me that whether the email was perfect. Did it have DKIM records? Did it have SPF records? And did it qualify for spam assassin email validator? So just copy this email address, paste it here in PHPList, click on send test. Now since you are trying to send an email to this email address for the first time, PHPList will ask you to add this email address to PHPList. Just click on add and then click on send test again. So you can see that the email has been successfully sent. Now we will go back to DKIM validator and then click on view results. You can see that DKIM validator has received an email from us, but the DKIM signature could not be found, which is important for us to send marketing emails. The SPF lookup has passed perfectly. The SPF records are good. The spam assassin has not marked our email as spam. So the only problem remaining is DKIM, and we will resolve this. What we will do is, now we will go to our root login into Virtualmin and then click on Virtualmin and then scroll down to email messages. Visit this first link which says domain keys identified mail, which is DKIM. Now you can see that the DKIM identifier mail is not available on this system. The DKIM configuration file does not exist. However, Virtualmin can attempt to automatically install DKIM filter package. So this is the thing that we want to install, DKIM filter package. Just click on install now. So the install is complete. DKIM filter package has been installed successfully. We'll return and we can see the DKIM settings. We will select yes for this. Signing of outgoing mail enabled. All outgoing emails will be signed by a DKIM signature. Now your selector for DKIM should be the current year. Usually default is used, but default has some problems in Virtualmin and postfix, so we will just use the current year 2017 and just click on save. So the DKIM settings have been saved, and the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to enable email encryption, because if we don't enable that, then all our emails will have this red lock. Let me show an example image of it. Gmail red lock. So here is the perfect example of it. All your emails will show this, all the outgoing emails from your server to Gmail will show this red lock, and the receivers of your email will feel that your emails are not secure. This red lock means that your email has not been encrypted, as you can see here. This means that you have not sent the emails using the TLS protocols and the emails have not been encrypted. So just go back to the root login of Virtualmin, click on servers, click on postfix mail server, click on SMTP client options. Now in the second last setting, use TLS for SMTP connections. Select yes. TLS is a secure protocol, and now all your outgoing emails will be encrypted, so that you do not see that red lock. Just click on save and apply. Now your outgoing emails will not have this red lock in them. Now the last thing left to send secure outgoing emails and be ensured so that your outgoing emails don't go into spam of emails per services like Hotmail. Especially Hotmail is very concerned about this thing, and this thing is reverse DNS record. Now the reverse DNS records in DigitalOcean are automatically set when you create a virtual server and set its domain name, but it does not happen here in Linode. But Linode gives us an option. So here in Linode, we will go to remote access, and there we will click here on reverse DNS. Now this reverse DNS host name should actually be the host name of our server, which is host.ourdomain.com. By default it is this, which is not good. So I'll set the reverse DNS to my host name, which is host.delhidevelopermail.tk. So I'll click on lookup. Now it is saying that a match has been found. When they tried to visit this URL, they found out that this URL had an IP address this. Then click on yes. So the reverse DNS has been changed, and Linode says that it might take up to 24 hours for the change to take effect. So you can presume that your emails will only be received on Hotmail after this setting has been propagated in 24 hours. So what is actually a reverse DNS? Reverse DNS means, okay, let's first try to know what is DNS. DNS means that when someone tries to check what is the IP address of this domain name, then it is able to find this IP address. This is DNS. Reverse DNS is when someone tries to check what is the domain of this IP address, then it should find this domain name. So the reverse DNS cannot be set here in Virtualmin. It has to be set on the part of the company from which you have bought your virtual private server, your hosting company. In my case it is Linode, and I have also set the reverse DNS perfectly. so none of my mails should go to spam now. Now we will just check our emails for one last time. I'll click on back. Let's just refresh this page. Let's copy this email address. Let's go to PHPList. Let's paste this new email address and test whether the DKIM records are working. Click on add and then click on send test again. Here click on view results. The email has not been received yet. Just refresh this page and click on continue to see if it has been received now. Okay, it has been received now. So you can scroll down to DKIM information. It has a DKIM signature and you can easily see that it has passed the DKIM validation check, and we had already confirmed that it had passed the SPF check and it has not been marked as spam. So all our email settings are perfect. You can also do one more thing. You can also download a tool called SMTP diag tool. Now we don't want to download this Microsoft Exchange tool. We want to download this one by the that we can find on this domain adminkit.net, the SMTP diag tool. You can download it. So you can download this tool here. Just download the zip version since you are going to only use it once. I've already downloaded it. I'm just going to start it. So in this tool, I'll type the SMTP server. Now the SMTP server will not be localhost for this tool, since this tool is not on the server. For this tool, the SMTP server will be this delhi-developer-mail.tk, and then the port number will be 587. The username and password will be, the username will be our postfix username. The password will be postfix password, and we will send an email from this user, info@delhi-developer-mail.com. I'm sorry, info@delhi-developer-mail.tk. And I'll send it to whom to send it to. Let's send it to another email of DKIM validator. Paste it here and just click on test. So SMTP diag tool is another tool to check whether all the emails are being perfectly sent. So message has been sent successfully. This means that these SMTP settings that we had set in PHPList must be working perfectly fine. Now there are some more things that are remaining to be done. We need to go to now if we go to PHPList, then we can see a warning here. Image browsing is not available because directory home Delhi developer mail public HTML upload images has not been created, does not exist. So let's go back to the virtual min of our virtual server. Let's go to the public HTML folder. Here we will create a new folder by the name upload images. Just create it. It has been created. Refresh this PHPList campaign page. So we don't see that message again. Plus there is one more thing that we need to do. Okay, now there is a button here for the image button to add images to our emails. Now if I try to add an image, then it will say cannot find any supported PHP image extension. So we cannot add images to our campaigns yet. Remember, all the images that you upload will be uploaded to this folder of your server. So all the images of the emails that you send are actually residing in this folder, and if they are deleted here, they are deleted for all the emails that you have sent. So go to Putty. Okay, now we have been logged out of Putty since it has been too long. We will log in again. Double click. Type the password. Now we are going to install ImageMagick for PHP 5.5 on our Ubuntu installation. So we will run these commands. The first command is apt get install ImageMagick. Notice the K at the end. So it is trying to confirm. We'll just type yes and enter. So it has installed image. Now we will install PHP 5 ImageMagick extension. So just run the command apt get install PHP 5 ImageMagick. Again, notice the K at the end. Press here Y to continue. Now we will add ImageMagick extension of PHP to the PHP configuration files, PHP ini files. Just run this command PHP 5 enmod and imagick. Now we are just asking PHP 5 to use this extension. So now we will restart our Apache server so that all the changes that we have made in PHP take effect. So we will run the command /etc/init.d/apache2 space restart. This command will restart the Apache server. Okay, so I had spelled Apache wrongly. This should work now. So our Apache server has started. So now ImageMagick should work perfectly. Okay, now we can actually add images from our server, and you can also upload images from your computer. Let's check one. Okay, let's go to pictures, sample pictures. Let's upload this one. Send it to server. Now even this button, even the send it to server button would have showed us a warning if we would have not installed the ImageMagick extension. So the image has been added. Let's give it a width 300 pixels. Let's click on OK. Okay, so we can see the image here. Perfect. So we have tested our emails enough. So okay, now how to use PHPList is outside the scope of this tutorial. We will create a separate tutorial for that, but I will suggest you that you will be able to learn it yourself. PHPList is mostly a self-explanatory software. Now the last thing that I'll suggest you to do is that this theme of PHP looks quite boring, so we will change the theme. Just go to config settings, scroll down a little. Now the theme for PHPList, we will just change it from Despro to Travelin and click on save changes. So we have a whole new theme in PHPList. We have our dashboard, and here are all the. Okay, so you might never need to log in to Virtualmin again. All you will need is PHPList. So you will need to access Virtualmin only when you are changing some settings on the server. So let's log out of them from both our root account and the virtual server account. Remember that when you have to log in through root account, try using this URL, and when you have to log into an individual virtual machine, then use this URL. This is the host name, this is the domain name. Let's close both of them. Let's close Linode, and you will only need PHPList now. So remember that whenever you need to access your PHPList, just type, let's just close this, or let's just log out of it first. All you have to do is type your domain name starting with https:/phplist/admin. Just log in with your username. You can see the new theme in this login page also. Type in the password, and there you go, you have PHPList. So teaching PHPList is actually outside the scope of this tutorial. Most of the things here are self-explanatory. We will create a separate video for teaching PHPList. For right now, you just need to know that here you can manage your subscribers, and here you can create emails and send them. So you can see all the commands and all the important links here in our blog. You will also find all the important links in the description of this video, and if you find yourself stuck in some step, you can always comment on this video, and you can also add a comment to this blog to ask us. And in case if you feel that you are unable to do it yourself and you want us to do it for you, you want us to create your bulk email server, in that case you can email us and we will charge you only $100 for each server. Thanks for watching our video. Be sure to comment, like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow us to get notifications of new content.